The following broadcast is intended for mature audiences. These are real people sharing very real, deeply personal experiences. This content may be considered triggering for others and for those who are sharing. The chat room is a privilege intended for discussions and sharing. You are not being asked to agree, but you are being asked to stay civil and refrain from personal attacks. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome back to Am I Mental, a mostly weekly live podcast where real people share stories about how mental health impacts life and how life impacts mental health. I'm your host, E, and with us, as always, is Bexy.
Hello, everyone.
And she is out visiting family right now and not in internet range. And even if they were, I would tell him, no, you're visiting family. Have fun.
Exactly.
So I gotta say thank you to our amazing listeners. You guys are the best. We got funded for another year of hosting on Spreaker. Thanks to you guys. Seriously, appreciate it. You guys really are the best. Seriously, I mean, I've known of podcasts that have been around longer, have more listeners, but they couldn't flip a penny if they tried. Yet we're fully funded because of you guys. You're the best. And now, without further ado, and I'm not going to plug the, hey, go help us out. You guys have. Thank you. So, skipping that today. Without further ado, we have Missy back. Last episode was Down the Rabbit Hole. This one is Through the Looking Glass. So, welcome back.
Thank you. I sense a theme happening here. The theme is awesome, obviously.
Yes.
It's so nice to be back. It's been so long, guys.
And the slimy toes did bell in the wave. All the mimsy were the Borgos and the mome rats out grape.
All right,
Bexy, you're the
Cheshire Cat.
I feel so special now.
It's from the Jabberwocky poem.
It is. That's awesome. That's wonderful. So, obviously, I missed you guys. I'm sure you missed me. Our last adventure together was super awesome. Oh my gosh, it was so great. And so now we're in a new year, guys. We made it.
We made it. Yeah, we're actually, for the podcast, we're now in year 3.
That's amazing. I love it.
I genuinely didn't expect it to, get this far when I first started this podcast. I kind of thought it'd be like, we might get a year or two and then people are going to lose interest. No, we're growing. Yeah. We're still growing.
Yeah.
We are.
What you're going is needed and it's important. So
thank you.
It's wonderful. So,
that really,
I
was going to say really fast before we get
you're fine.
Rocking on this. I know that we promised a guest from Australia. That guest from Australia is going through a crisis right now.
Aww.
I'm in contact with them. We've been talking a little bit back and forth because, you're also a friend. It's going to be a little while before they're able to get on. Let's just say that, this is it's a life-changing event, and things went sideways.
Aww.
And that's as much as I'm going to say because it's her story to tell.
Right. Well, please, send her all our best wishes and everything. And
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, that's life-altering stuff is always happening, but I know when it's imminent, that's definitely an important time to send all good wishes and good vibes and prayers and thoughts.
And I'm sure that she would appreciate that. And I hope that she's listening.
Hope so, too.
So that's out of the way.
Yay! My mom says, and I quote from my phone, "It keeps bringing Through the Looking Glass up." Yes, that's me.
Yeah, that's the episode.
That. I love my mom so much. She's so wonderful.
That's awesome.
She'll probably click on it and be like, I don't hear Missy yet. I don't hear. Oh, there she is. Okay. Hi, Missy. Like, hi, Mom. So, yeah.
Hey, you got to do the hi, Mom.
I know, like, hi, Mom. She's like, oh, dear. But she has to deal with me all the time. So you guys get me on the, every now and then. But she's got to deal with this mess all the time. So
Mess?
bless her for it.
Yeah.
But, yes. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, the raspberry, that's how I consider you calling yourself a mess.
Oh, well, thanks. I am. But, I mean, sometimes we all are, right? I think I'm a beautiful mess, though. I'm happy and I'm in a good place. So that's
me.
Yeah. So I did want to say one of the things the last time I was here that I know we briefly touched on, but I really have felt so compelled that I needed to say something to somebody about is we have collectively, as a culture, humans here on Earth, in America, wherever, we have been in this weird kind of collective sense of almost grief. And we've been through trauma together, a big trauma together, right? Being COVID. And so it's affected. I don't think there's a single one of us that hasn't been either directly affected or affected by someone we knew.
Right.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that gets ignored, and because it's easy to ignore, right? Because we have lives to live and we're trying to get through this, is the whole mental health piece of that.
Yeah, what's funny is that this podcast launched right as lockdowns became a thing.
Oh,
it wasn't planned that way, it just turned out that way.
And thank goodness.
Oh, I fully took advantage of it, saying, hey, since you're stuck at home, why not try a podcast?
Yeah, exactly.
Come listen. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be opportunistic in that regard, but I think that we helped a lot of people during all this, too.
Oh, I think so, too. Yeah.
Anyway, Bexy was trying to say something.
Yes.
I was trying to say that, the topic, your topic that you want to discuss fits in really nicely with last week's episode because we did actually talk about grief.
Oh, very good. Hey, I tend to be on point sometimes with these little things I come up with, so that's really good. I mean, the big thing right now for me is since I'm in the place I'm in mentally and emotionally, I've kind of dealt with all of that. Having COVID and getting as sick as I did last year, it almost, I don't know, it messed with me a little bit mentally, which I've never had happen when I was sick ever in my life. And at the same time, it gave me the freedom to go, you know what? I made it through it. I'm good. Let's move on. But I want to help other people be able to do that because I think the initial thing is, lockdown happened. It was like, oh, this isn't going to last long, blah, blah, blah. And then months we were on lockdown and it changed everything. I mean, it absolutely, and the just, in some ways it was great because we got to relearn how to take care of ourselves and we got to get back to the simplicity of life and, what was important, like family and home. But at the same time, for other people, it was difficult. I hated not being able to touch people. I'm a very tactile person. I like affection. I like to exchange energy with people. And literally during the 4 months I wasn't working and in lockdown, I forgot how to talk to people. Like literally the first couple of times I went out and talked to people, I was like, did I just word? I don't even, like, what's this mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, what language was that in? Because I don't even know. And it's just like, I think we all went through that a little bit. And then kind of relearning, hey, I have to wear a mask everywhere. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to stand 6 feet away from this person, even though they're still looking at me funny. I have my mask on. I've been careful. What am I doing wrong? And there's these microcosms of thoughts and feelings you go through. And then, of course, there are the people that went through depression and anxiety because of it and still are struggling with that. And I think it's really important that we open the dialogue.
Exactly. And the one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that some of the people that suffered the most with this are your more neuronormative people. because they've
Yeah.
never been isolated from others. They've never had to deal with this stuff. It's like the introverts out there are like, oh, this is the best thing ever, you know?
Absolutely, it was great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, but for a lot of people, it was hell.
Oh yeah, it was really hard for me because I'm such a outgoing social person. But at the same time, I also had to learn to enjoy my company and take better care of me, and learn what it was to relax.
Yeah,
So
I'm
it
probably
was-
the most extroverted introvert you'll ever meet.
yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say I'm kind of the same way. Like, I am perfectly fine keeping myself at home and entertaining myself and everything, but I am also that person that likes touch and affection, and
Exactly. Yeah.
and it doesn't have to be like any kind of big. It can be as simple as me sitting beside someone and their hand on top of mine, and just the exchange of the energies and, you know, the feelings that, you know, my empathic self can feel from them, and it recharges me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
You
I mean,
know.
I have people in my life I'm like that with, you know.
Give so much of my and it I find it's really true. I give so much of my energy to others
Yes. Yes.
that sometimes I need to borrow a little from somebody to
From someone else. Yeah.
recharge myself.
Well, you need spoons, man.
I do
Lots
need
of extra
spoons.
spoons.
I
all
do
the-
need spoons. I need all the spoons.
Extra spoons for
And-
next, please. We'll take extra, please.
And I think Missy's given us a new T-shirt, because if "Did I Just Word" isn't great enough to be put on a T-shirt, I don't know what is.
Thank you.
That's definitely up there with grief is like glitter. It gets in your ass crack.
It really
Yeah,
does.
that was my that was my great assumption, or my great thought last week, was that grief is like glitter. You can throw it up in the air and you can sweep it up, but, you know, and you think you got it all, but a month or two later, you're going to find some on the floorboards.
Oh yeah, grief is a process. It's not a one-time thing. So,
Yeah, and we do have quite a few comments in here too.
Do we?
Yes.
I haven't had a chance to look because I've been.
Oh, that's okay. We like to read them to you.
Oh well,
Yeah.
that's even better. Thank you.
See them.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I'll read them then. So,
you.
of course, we got the hellos for you.
Hello.
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 And we have Jamie on. We have Jay Richards on. We have Kat. So we're banging tonight.
Woohoo.
And Jay's like, 30 seconds of hell. There's a delay of 30 seconds between what I say and when she hears it. It is driving her nuts. You know, you could always just leave. Jamie, I got wrecked by lockdown. Some survivalist I turned out to be. Oh, man.
God.
Do you remember the toilet paper crisis?
Oh gosh, yes. Oh my lord.
And then Richard was saying that podcast consumption in America probably skyrocketed during the pandemic, and it did. It
Absolutely.
really did.
Yep.
And then again, the joke, it's been 2 years since 2 weeks to slow the spread.
Jeez.
Another J name. So, okay, change the name to another J name. Being essential. Going to work every day was a special kind of hell. Yeah, you were essential until the vaccine was out, and if you didn't vaccine, you were a plague spreader. Funny how fast that flipped.
Yes.
And then Kat said that she'd wear the T-shirt. Probably the did I word?
Did I just word?
Did I just word?
And literally, it felt like that, guys. I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, okay, I just talked to a human. Did it work? Was that English? Was that colloquial American? What was that? I don't even know. I think I came up with a new language I just made up on the spot. But literally, it was one of those exchanges where it was like, you know, the person walked in and they were like, "Hi, how are you today?" And I was like, "Kittens are really fuzzy, and I like chicken nuggets." Like, it was literally.
But you know what? That if you're doing 2 truths and a lie, you could have stuck a lie in there too.
I guess I could have.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, it was.
I sometimes felt like when I would talk to another adult and I would just like word vomit onto them about everything, because I'm here all day and I have Adam to talk to, and he is not the most, you know, he's not a great conversationalist aside from, "Hi, Becky, can I have a Coke?" will you change my diaper? I'm hungry.
Stuff, yeah.
That's about what I get out of him.
We gotta love Adam, though,
Oh,
I do.
absolutely.
I adore Adam. But then I'd talk to like another functioning adult human, and I'd be like, "Oh my god, blah 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 blah," and it would just all come out at one time, and I'd be like, "Oh, I think I scared them."
I resemble that remark, Bexy.
Although I will say that Richard did say that "Grief is Glitter" sounds like a self-help book title.
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Richard comes up with some of the greatest observations, and I miss my floating duck.
Where is Floating Duck?
I don't know.
We definitely need some Floating Duck.
Yeah, for those that don't know, because Floating Duck's only been on here a couple of times, Floating Duck is someone that I know, that I had to figure out who it was, because they came on and they dropped just the funniest shit in the chat.
Yeah.
Like, we're all sitting there trying to be serious, and I'm reading the chat trying not to laugh.
Not to laugh.
And
So much.
I'm always on camera, so I'm trying to also hide the fact that I'm trying not to laugh, physically.
Because if he laughs, I'm going to laugh.
But, like, my foot is stomping on the floor because I'm trying not to laugh, because I can hide my foot.
Come back to us, Floating Duck.
Please come back.
Floating Ducky,
know what the
you're
funny
the
thing.
one. You make podcasting lots of fun. Floating Ducky, we're awfully fond of you.
Go, Bexy, go. So, I did want to also bring up another point, and I think this is important, especially for people that are like Bexy and I. Since I'm a medium and a empath, the being away from people thing, it was detrimental in that sense too, because as I mentioned earlier, the energy exchange is so important. And when the world's in pain and scared and you're away from people, it's really hard to focus on anything other than that. So you have to kind of busy yourself with other things. You have to avoid the news because that's just making things worse. And then find ways to recharge those batteries and figure out how to get the tanks filled, or at least keep them in some semblance of balance so you can be helpful to others, do what you're supposed to do to function, and still be available for the universe's energy to come to you. So, I mean, that's also another aspect of that whole, thing of dealing with the collective grief, the collective isolation that we went through part of the time. And it's true. I mean, there were different people from different walks of life going through different things. I mean, I know there were people that talked about being terrified of being locked down with abusers and situations where people with mental health needs couldn't be basically...
They couldn't get the help they needed.
Exactly, and couldn't get what they needed. And so there was a plethora of things that I feel like didn't get addressed like they should have been.
And then there's the people that suffered their first mental health crisis ever.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's not the time or the way to do it when you can't get that hands-on support right then and there that so many people need and everybody deserves to have.
Exactly. No, it was rough. And I mean, suicide rates went through the roof.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And we don't talk about that.
No. And we need to talk about all of it. It's important. The last 2 years of our lives happened, and it wasn't easy, and it wasn't beautiful. There were beautiful moments, and certainly some good has, and I hope will continue to come from it. And I like to look at that part of it, obviously, the aspects that are beautiful and good. But we need to be realistic about what did happen so we can heal those things and collectively move forward.
Exactly.
Excuse me. That one got me. Don't mind me. I'm just taking a sip. But I mean, it's one of those things where there's a million aspects of what happened that we can talk about, and a million ways we can address all those feelings and different misgivings that happened at the time. And I'm just going to keep joking. Don't mind me.
That's fine.
Choking
Go ahead.
is wrong on this show.
You're alive when you're choking. It's when you stop choking that's a problem sometimes.
Nope, I'm still choking and I'm still breathing. We're good. But yeah, I mean, it was one of those things where it dawned on me one day, we need to be open about this. And so I just want to encourage anybody listening, for whatever reason you may be listening, you are not alone in what you're feeling. It's incredibly insensitive to think a person should just be expected to suck it all up the last 2 years, everything you may have personally gone through, and just continue with life like nothing happened, on top of everything else going on in the world.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely been rough.
Yeah. But we are going to get through this, and we are going to be okay. And I do hope that society will learn lessons from this so that we can take better care of ourselves and each other.
Seriously.
That is such, that's such a major thing, is that we do need to learn not only to take care of ourselves, but collectively as a society to take care of each other.
Oh, yeah. Because I don't think a person's less than a person because they're struggling. Right. And I think on some level for some people, maybe it's not a conscious thing, but it's almost like, oh, that person's different, so let me brush them to the side. Or, somebody that may have developmental issues, or somebody that may have a legitimate, birth defect, or physical disability, or an emotional disability, or learning disability, whatever it may be. I think sometimes people have a tendency to be like, let me put the blinders on. But humans are humans, and it takes all kinds of us to make this world go round. And so I think if we are more open to each other, we're going to do better.
I agree 100%. When I was talking about the choking, Kat was all, yes, when you start turning blue, it's a problem.
What if I was already blue?
You're a Smurf?
Yeah, or an Atlantean. I'm not sure which.
There we go. A Smurflantean.
A Smurflantean.
So you're really big and really small at the same time, so you're average. It turns
out to be normal. Yeah. Yay!
And then Jay said, this lag means that I hear partial spoilers from E, but nothing else, because he's wearing headphones. So it's only E spoilers from 30 seconds in the future.
That is awesome.
And I agree with Richard. We need to crush 2022. If not for us, then for Betty. Rest in peace, our golden girl.
Amen.
Yeah. Seriously.
It sucked. We lost our grandmother and our dad in Bob Saget.
Absolutely.
And the Bob Saget thing is just getting more and more strange as it goes.
Weird. Yeah, definitely. And I think it's one of those things where if we hadn't been through so much collective loss recently, these things wouldn't hit us as hard as they do. So I don't think it's it's so weird to care. Like, we should care, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
To some degree. Yeah. But I think that's really hitting us.
A loss of human life is a sad thing.
Sure it is.
Exactly.
So it should be cared about, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And being that I have sort of an in, as it were, beyond the veil, obviously I can see, death on a different scale, in a different perspective. And so for me, it can also be a peaceful, beautiful thing, in a lot of ways. But yeah, absolutely, we should always care. But yeah, I agree. Like, those two, really smacked me a little bit. Every now and then there'll be one or two, and you'll go, "Dang, man, that was rough."
That one hurt. I still hurt from Tom Petty and Chris Cornell.
I was going to say, I still hurt from Chris Cornell and Robin Williams.
Definitely. There are some that I'll never stop thinking about. No matter how many years pass, I think about Paul Walker sometimes, and I'm just like, ugh, why? And it's that one seemed so senseless to me, and it was so hard for me to wrap my head around it, you know. And then with Robin Williams, it's like, man, he's been part of our lives forever. Like, how is he not going to be here?
Right, since Nanu Nanu.
Nanu,
Right.
What's funny is that I have an uncle that watched him at a comedy club in San Francisco before he was Mork. And he was like, this guy is amazing. He is destined for bigger things. He has got to do something. And then Mork Comedian came out, and he's like, I am so watching that because that comedian is the greatest.
And we can agree that he still quite is the greatest. But yeah, every now and then there'll be those people you think about, and you go, oh man, I really miss them. You know?
Yeah.
And it's what a legacy to leave behind when you're loved like that, you know?
Yeah, but I mean, some of his comments that he made like after the fact, man, they hit differently now.
They sure do. Yeah, you can feel things differently because you kind of understand differently than you did, you know? And I mean, he just, God knows. I mean, I can't imagine what it was like inside his head, you know?
I can. But I'm also the funny person that's depressed all the time, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that you understand on a very intimate level what that's like to be that creative, higher thinking person, but also having the heart that does have a harder time, that does struggle with things.
Yeah. Another comedian, and it's one that I love, because I mean he's one of the funniest ones out there. He's not that old niche comedian that's very common now, where they have their niche and they just stick in it, but more of the general. Yeah, niche, whatever you want to call it.
I have a niche. What?
I've heard it pronounced differently, so a different way, so I don't know.
You're fine.
Yeah, shut up. Anyway,
I so had that coming.
Bo Burnham. He's very generalist, like the good comedians of the past, and he also gets very vulnerable, which I think is a very good thing because, like, Robin Williams was never vulnerable, and I think that kind of is what got him, because when he tried to be vulnerable, no one took him seriously. Bo Burnham, on every one of his stand-up routines, he ends very serious, very vulnerable.
I'm turning blue again, don't mind me.
Although I was going to say, with the Smurf thing, one of the funniest things I ever saw, it was when Cartoon Network was really new, and they were like, here's the question, we're asking the real question, like, why are Smurfs blue? And then Grumpy comes up and goes, we're not blue, we're green, adjust your TV!
What color are you really? So I'm trying to get something to, not to sound inappropriate, I'm trying to get something to suck on so I will stop choking. So bear with me a moment while I do so. Okay. Houston, we have liftoff.
That's what she said.
Ba-dun-cha. Okay.
You know what? That's like the joke of, like, hey, why don't you sit on my lap and then we talk about liftoff.
Oh, dear God. Oh, no. Through the looking glass. Okay, anyway. I'm a mature adult. I'm an adult.
I'm an adult.
I'm not.
I keep trying to lie to myself and saying, but let's be real.
At least they keep telling me I'm an adult.
You're an adult. I swear you are, E.
I admit to being an adult. I do not admit to being mature.
Growing old is mandatory. Growing up is optional.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a Disney princess forever. Dang it.
I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid.
That's right. So, I mean, aside from really wanting to discuss that and how important that was, I thought it would be interesting to also kind of delve a little more into maybe the psychic side of things or the counseling side of things. Because, I mean, those things affect mental health too, and they're important. And I think spiritual health is, and I don't mean religion when I say spiritual health, by the way. That could be an aspect of it, but
Right.
Spiritual health's important. At our core essence, regardless of what you believe, whatever that may be, and it's cool, whatever it is, we are all made of energy, and we are all souls. And whether you call that the essence, the soul, the spirit, whatever that is for you, and that's basically kind of, where I come in that area.
I have often wondered how many times people who have some psychic ability and some ability to see through the veil have been misdiagnosed with a mental health disorder because nobody believed they can see what they say.
Oh, I mean, we can go all the way back to Cassandra in ancient Troy. She was a seer, and it's said, legendarily, that Apollo gave her the gift and he took it from her. Well, he let her still have her visions. He just made it so no one would believe her. And I think going back to that tradition, it's kind of through the ages been the thing that if you know things that go against the norm, you must not be normal. And I think there's a lot of, there have been a lot of women over time, and men too, but women especially, who have been put upon for being different. And I think, you could be branded as a witch and be killed at the stake, or be branded a heretic, or, worse, shoved in a mental institution somewhere, and I'm sure it happened a lot. And it makes me sad to think about it, because I don't think these gifts are meant to be scary. They're not meant to be harmful.
I don't think so either.
Mm-hmm. And we're here to do good, and we're here to show the other side of life in a way that's understandable. And I think it's just hard, because in this day and age, especially, people just have so much going on. And I think that's why it's especially important that we have to stay in touch with that part of ourselves and with each other in that sense. And I think it's important that everybody remembers that everybody has different gifts and abilities in many aspects, in many ways in this life. I can sing and I can do other things too. It's not just the psychic gifts. Everybody has different gifts and abilities. And I think every human being has the potential to tap into that part of themselves.
Meanwhile, I have Jay sitting here next to me giggling.
Giggling! Okay, so I have a special request from the Peanut Gallery.
Oh, so me?
Well, you are welcome to make as many special requests as you want, Peanut Gallery. But actually, specifically, Mom, M-O-M, Peanut Gallery. She wants me to introduce everybody to my alter ego. And if you guys are willing, I could do that. I'll just pretend I've taken a couple tokes from Bexy there.
That works.
I'm good with it.
I just want gummies.
My alter ego, she's a little different. So you may want to ask her a question, and she can answer it. So you guys may want to come up with something fun, and I can introduce you to her.
Okay. Well, I'm going to...
Whoa, Bexy's on the move.
Sorry. Yeah. I had to move. That position wasn't comfortable anymore.
Because laying on the floor is so much better. With your boobs trying to strangle you to death.
I have them propped up on a pillow. They're comfy at the moment.
As long as you're feeling good and safe and comfy, you're good, dear.
I'm excited to meet your alter ego, actually.
I don't know if I should ask something completely silly or not.
I would ask her something completely off the wall and see what happens. Because she's not staying long. She's just coming to say hi and leave because I'm placating mommy here and giving her what she wants.
What is the square root of pancake?
No, what is a pancake?
Oh, you're a valley girl.
Kind of, but I'm actually from South Carolina. I'm a Southern Valley girl. And my name is Kirby, and I like Barbie dolls.
Oh. I like stuffed animals.
Oh my gosh, is that a baby Yoda?
It is.
Cutest. Oh my gosh, speaking of which, now that you mentioned pancakes, I'm kind of hungry. Yeah.
Richard, it's crepes.
She's something else, all right.
We have a place called Crepes and Burgers. It is amazing.
Say you love crepes. I will not. It's not American. Wait, what are crepes? They're those tiny pancake things. Oh, those are good.
Crepeses are the bestest.
Crepes are good. And by the way, I happened to notice out the corner of my eye someone mentioned gummy bears or gummies. I guess gummies.
He means the edible kind of gum. Like,
Oh, I don't have those kind of gummies. Come on now.
I do.
But crepes sound amazing.
I had CBD gummies, but I ran out. It
Aw.
happens.
I
Well,
want
I'm
to
sure
know
they were helpful.
That was random.
That's awesome. Random is the best. So hopefully mommy's happy now that you guys have met Kirby.
Now the
And-
question is do you swallow everything that comes near you and fly around and float?
What?
Like the video game Kirby.
Like the video game, Kirby's a little pink puffball that inhales everything.
Do I look like a little pink floaty thing to you?
Yes.
I think so.
Don't ask questions you don't want the
You're
answer
as
to.
cute as the little pink floaty thing.
Sometimes when I'm really happy, I think I could probably fly around like that. But not usually. Unless someone tries to steal my Barbie. And then I get mad and I have to fly around like that. Yeah, she's nuts, guys. I mean, this is what it's like living with an actor, okay? Me being the actor here. This is craziness.
I love it.
I used to love playing Kirby, though. That was always fun. I was like, how much stuff can I suck up? How much stuff can I suck up?
Okay, just saying it. That's wife material. Wait, what?
That's what I
I didn't say anything.
But okay, so, but yeah, like, it's been, I usually come up with like a new personality every few months. And that one, she's the most recent one. And so I've unveiled her to my best friend and my mom, and I think a couple other people, but randomly, my mom and I will be sitting watching like an episode of Judge Judy, and I'll be like, oh my God, what is wrong with her? Why is she so mean, and why is her hair so shiny?
Judge Judy's the best.
She's amazing. And it's always funny because, you know, and I think part of it is probably just because I'm me, but I'll sit there and I'll be like, blah, 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 to my mom, and she'll be like, shut up, I want to hear this. And then Judge Judy will say the same thing. I'll be like, see?
The Kirby Lord is insane. Like Old Testament insane. Richard.
The vengeful Kirby.
Yeah, Jay came up saying, what is the subject for tonight? Well, the subject is Missy. So, yeah.
Thank you. I'm also a subject. I'm a guest and a subject. Does anyone have any questions for me? Because I'm trying to get myself back on topic, and that might help me.
Well, it's going to take about 30 seconds to a minute to get responses because there's that delay.
Right.
All right,
Oh.
let's do it. Do, 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 Dude,
I rated a new thing.
that was another thing. I miss Alex Trebek.
Oh,
Me
that one
too.
hurt. That one hurt.
That one sucks because I mean, he was like everybody's other grandfather, I mean, he had been around like mostly my whole life, I guess. I mean,
For most of our lives, let's be honest.
Absolutely. And so while we wait for questions that may or may not come in, because this is pretty much a grand BS session at this point.
What'd you just call me?
Not you.
Because I resemble that remark.
I resemble that remark too. Thank you. So when I did ghost tours, I had to develop my tour and my character. I've mentioned this previously, I'm sure at some point. Part of the fun of being a medium and living in a very old city like Savannah, as I do, is that people assume things about you. Well, guess what? Some of those assumptions are true. And one of those things is that, yes, I get into a Victorian costume and I give ghost tours.
That's
And
awesome.
It is awesome. And my character's name is Madge. And she is Margaret Ivy Collins of the Savannah Collinses, go figure. And she is a dignified lady of means who, unfortunately, was very, very into the occult in her time. So much so the ghosts in her house got mad and killed her. And that was how she became a ghost tour guide.
Got it. Kind of like a Breaking Bad. No, it's a criminal lawyer. I'm a ghost tour guide.
Yes, an actual ghost host.
You're the host with the ghost with the most.
Yes.
And you don't like to boast.
Well, I don't want to toot my own horn, y'all, but I do want to tell you a little bit about where I come from. See, in my time, a lady was expected to act a certain way, and I did not. No, sir. I had these little parties called seances in my house all the time. I would just dress in my finest, light all my candles, and start talking to people that weren't there. Oh, but they were there. Honey, you may not believe in spirits, but they sure believe in you.
My mama used to tell me when I was little all the time, and I'd say, I can see people and talk to them, and she'd tell me, girl, go run and hide your crazy. But I couldn't hide my crazy.
No. Bring that crazy out, girl. Bring it out.
I told my parents I could see people and talk to them. They said, well, of course, you went outside. What'd you expect?
That is true, my friend.
She taught me how to climb, and I taught her how to dangle.
Me and Gilbert got hired before. Mm-hmm. Man.
Mama said, there's my magic shoes. Mama said they take me anywhere.
Mama said about doing my magic shoes. They take me anywhere. I used to be able to do it better. I'd have to actually watch the movie.
Now, you do realize that Forrest Gump was filmed in Savannah, right?
Yes.
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 And you do realize that in the book he became an astronaut, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As many things as he did, he became an astronaut too.
Yeah.
Amazing. Go Forrest.
Right?
That's
Go
awesome.
Forrest. It's your birthday.
Go Forrest. It's your birthday. You get to go to space. Go Forrest.
You can't see it, but my booty's totally wiggling in time to the Go Forrest.
Oh, good. Go Forrest. Get your run on. Go Forrest. Could you imagine if Forrest Gump was a kid in today's world?
Man.
What he couldn't do. You know?
Oh,
and
man.
instead of running on his running shoes, he'd be using a hoverboard.
And he'd be a crypto billionaire.
Yeah, he would. The man who owns the most cryptocurrency happens to be my good friend Forrest Gump. Forrest, come say a word. Yeah. So, basically, it's weird. People know a lot of stuff about Savannah. Obviously, they don't know what I know, and they, unless they're history freaks like I am.
I know about the broken arrow that's in the river.
Yes, and we talked about that, and that's very cool that you know that. And the recovery to get that.
For people that don't know, a broken arrow is a nuclear warhead that has been that we have lost control of.
We do not have control of the broken arrow.
Yeah, and this is a nuclear warhead that is resting in the mud of a river in Savannah, Georgia, that we cannot safely extract.
And we don't quite know if we bother the surface, it could cause an issue.
Yeah, it's just best to. It's one of those. Just let it lie.
The only explosion that should be happening in Savannah is what happened.
An explosion of love.
Yeah, that. St. Patrick's Day weekend. That's what I was going to say. But we actually did really well this year. There were no like major issues. People were super respectful. It was like the most tame St. Patty's Day ever. It was wonderful.
That's really nice.
Yes. So, I mean, we had like 60,000 people visiting our city. That's really cool.
Yeah, my hometown during the 4th of July.
Ooh, yes.
So my town is typically 3,500 people. That's the population. During the 4th of July, we have the largest West Coast run-walk event. It's the 5K, 10K kind of thing.
That's wonderful.
Over 10,000 participants.
That's amazing. I love it.
Our town of 3,500 people blows up that much.
Oh, that's incredible.
And I used to play taiko at the start-finish line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was my contribution.
Good job. So, there was something else I was going to say along the same vein. Oh, yes. Have you guys heard of Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil?
Yes.
Yes.
That book literally put our city back on the map, which is funny to me because our city is one of the 13 original colonies and has literally been on this map for over 300 years. But, you know, what do I know?
Well, if you ask me if I ever want to visit Georgia, where I'd want to go, Savannah is it. Literally, that's the only place I'd want to go. Like, people are like, what about Atlanta? I'm like, what about Atlanta?
No. But I'm glad you would want to come to Savannah. That's awesome. I love that.
Well, just, I did a lot of phone support, and with the particular product that I dealt with a lot of the southern states.
Yeah.
And I could say that in Georgia, Atlanta, I don't like Atlanta people. No. They're a little too aggressive, a little too self-centered. But Savannah, they're as nice as people out in just like rural Tennessee. The nicest people you'll ever meet.
Oh, shucks. Thanks, man. It's true, though. We have some of the sweetest people in the world here. I think it's part of the reason I love it here. It's just wonderful. And it's such a great place for someone like me. You know, just because, number one, it's very spiritually active. And two, there's so much human energy. It's great. So I have like this nice like conflux of everything I need. It's near water, of course. Literally 2.5 blocks from water. There's a river right there. And a cemetery about 3 blocks this way. I mean, I'm right in the heart of all of it, and it's crazy. I love it.
Nice. And Richard just put in a comment about Forrest Gump.
Did he?
There's a sequel, a second book. And it says, in the sequel book, Forrest talks about how he doesn't like the movie. Parentheses, probably because the author was suing the movie company since they didn't pay him any money because of Hollywood accounting.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Say hi to my mom, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Say hi, Mama.
They don't see me.
Hi, Mama.
Hey.
Surprise guest.
You met Kirby?
Yes, we did.
She's awesome. She's not quite right, but that's perfect for your show, I think.
Well,
right.
Our family motto for a while there is some of us are here because we're not all there.
Oh, that's bad.
I admit to being not quite right, and that's okay. I'm just right for me.
Oh my gosh, you guys. How am I doing, Mom? How am I doing?
Well, how many people have tuned in?
How many people have tuned in since I started talking? No, Mom.
I won't get those stats until tomorrow.
You won't know until tomorrow? You don't want to scare
He's
her.
gonna realize how many fans and how many listeners they lost due to my being here.
Oh, is that what you got? I'm telling you, when Kirby stepped in the room,
Kirby stepped in the room, y'all.
that was it.
That was it. That was my star was born at that
And we
moment.
were talking about Mrs. Doubtfire, dear.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Well, yeah, we were doing that early on before the
I
podcast
know.
started. So, but yeah, I mean, it's incredible to me, like how we can go from subject A to subject B with such like precision. Like we can disintegrate into utter madness without any preamble whatsoever, and I love it.
Yeah, and that it's just, and some people can't handle that, but it's easy.
It is really easy, and it's fun. I mean, the great thing is that we have this platform so people can feel comfortable and safe and heard and seen and not alone.
And even if you're not on the show, like just listening, you might hear someone talking about like basically your experience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I recently had someone ask me, actually a couple different people have asked me, some people online and some people in real life, like, why are you the way you are? And I'm like, look, if I hadn't gone through some amount of suffering or struggle in my life, I could not have the joy in my heart I have. I could not know the happiness I know now, because the only way I know it is because I got through the darkness.
Yep.
And so I know other people can do it too, because I've done it, and their path is different than mine. Their journey is different than mine. But I'll be darned if I sit here and don't at least let someone know there is hope. There always is hope.
And me personally, I mean, I'm still wandering through my darkness.
Yeah.
But I see my happiness up in the horizon,
Oh,
which is new. And it's largely due to this podcast, believe it or not. This podcast is my therapy.
That's wonderful. I think that's a beautiful thing to be able to take something that is helping shape you into who you are. It's a part of your destiny as a person, as well as Bexy's, obviously.
Obviously.
As a team, collectively, all of you have so much to offer and so much to give. And you found a way to tap into that. And it's reaching people. It is literally touching lives. It is touching hearts. It is making a difference to somebody.
I like touching people.
Yeah, me too. What?
What?
I didn't say that.
I like being touched. What? Let me hide.
I think that was my outside voice again.
Did I just word? So I think when we last chatted, when I was last here, so just a little self-plug. Go me. Once I can actually sit down and finish my stupid assignment I have to finish, I'm literally 2 classes and a dissertation away from being a doctor.
Awesome.
Awesome.
It's crazy to me.
You.
I'm like, oh my God, all I have to do is finish this and it's done. It is done.
That has got to be like the most amazing feelings, seeing the finish line right there.
It's terrifying and amazing. And I need to stop putting off this assignment, because I think for a period obviously I was sick. I wasn't well. I couldn't plug in, but there's no reason now not to finish it. You know what I mean? I've come this far. I've worked this hard. Why quit now? And
I know so many people that would, though. And a lot of people do, because of the fear of the change, the fear of the unknown. It's like you finally get to your goal, but then you have that. It's like the finisher's fear, I guess, is a good way of putting it.
Yeah. I mean, that's one way to put it. But what do I have to fear? Except stepping into my destiny. And I want to do that. I'm ready for that, whatever that is. I want to be able to help people on a different level. So whether that's doing psychic readings for them, or giving counseling, or doing mentorship, whatever that is, I want to be available to do that. And I feel like it's just something where it's a lot to be proud of and a lot to be thankful for, but it just needs to be done. you know.
And we have some great comments. I'm sitting here trying not to laugh.
Bring it on! I love comments.
Alrighty, so we have, Richard disintegrating into utter madness is my next album name. Kat, I'll just reach into your chest and touch your heart.
Ooh.
And then Richard, there's nothing wrong with touching people. Joe Biden. And then Kat again, oh, is that my outside voice? Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag, Cat. Oh my gosh. That is the great, my favorite Joe Biden quote, and no offense intended here, because I really do wonder if he is mentally stable. But that's no slight on him or anyone else that is not. That's true concern on my part. But he once said, and I quote, ice cream doesn't have bones.
I remember that.
That is one of the greatest things I think I've ever heard a human being utter. And to this day, that's one of my excuses if someone asks me a question, especially at work. I'll go, ice cream doesn't have bones. And they'll go, okay, Joe Biden, what's next?
I mean, it's true.
Ice cream doesn't have bones. It's logical. No one's ever said that before, which is kind of cool.
Brand new sentence. Yeah.
I mean, kind of like, one of those T-shirt things. We should get T-shirts that just have all these fun quotes on them,
That's one of the plans.
Ice cream doesn't have bones.
We actually need to think, I think we have enough now where I just need to sit down and do it, make the storefront with all this stuff. I also put the season and episode number in so people could go and check it out.
Oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? Like, episode-specific merch.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. That's super cool. So, I was thinking, another thing that I had wanted to touch on that I haven't been able to, and this is on a slightly serious note. I'm sorry to go all mature on y'all again. I know. I keep changing my mind. I'm like, let's have fun. No, let's be mature. No, let's have fun.
You can be both.
I can, thank you, and I am both. I have before COVID happened to me personally.
Oh, in our past life.
Yes.
Before times.
In the before times.
The before time. I was doing a really cool in-depth study of the tarot. I tried to do a kind of like a continuing ed, if you will, on the regular, to stay up with the latest, because not only am I interpreting spirits' messages through the cards, but I also need to interpret the cards, right? And understand what the cards are saying. And so I got this really cool
I want my tarot cards read.
I will totally read your tarot cards, dear. But the coolest book, it's called The Tarot Companion. And I didn't even know that book existed until I purchased it. It has taught me things about this deck of cards that I didn't even realize. And there are things in here that I'm not saying I've given bad readings or I've misrepresented anything. That's not the case. I'm pretty darn sure, based on my track record, we're good on that sense. But just for me, for my knowledge, there's so much wisdom in this deck of cards. It's crazy. And so one of the things I do, since I'm a medium, yes, I can cold read. Yes, I can walk into a room and know what's going on. I can directly speak to spirit. And when I say spirit, that can be spirits, like ghosts. It can also be the spirit guide of a person talking to my spirit guides. And I can also hear directly from spirit guides and ancestor spirits. And so when I interpret those messages via the tarot, usually that's a reading I'm giving a living human. And when I do that, it is to help you on your path through this life, right?
Right.
And help understand who you are, what challenges you face, how far you've come, where you're going, that sort of thing. I'm not a soothsayer. I don't see the future. There have been times I've had precognitive things happen, but that's not my main function. And one of the things that I've come to understand through doing this for so many years is the connection I physically have with my cards. It is the weirdest, most inexplicable thing. I can't like, My mother gifted me this set, and I was scared. I didn't trust it. I was afraid that it was going to take me to a dark place, like when I was a teenager, dabbling in things I shouldn't have been dabbling in, didn't know what I was doing. And it was really scary and dark time for me. And so I was terrified. And my mom's like, just try it, trust it. Spirit's saying, do this, do it. The first time my hands touched this deck, it was like an extension of myself. That's the only other way I can express this. And I've given hundreds and hundreds of readings on this set of cards in particular. And the thing I get most from people that I find really interesting is, instead of oh, I don't think that's right, that's not true, that doesn't sound like me, which part of me kind of, I don't know, I have an insecurity about it where I expect that to happen. Most of the time from people I get, oh, that makes sense, which is really nice, because that means the message I'm getting is resonating with something happening to them in their lives currently, or something that's happened to them that is affecting their walk through their life, their journey, as it were, you know? So I really enjoyed this like deeper study of it, and kind of like forming this new relationship with the cards. And I mean, I know a lot of people have tarot cards. Some people do read with them. Some people just really enjoy them. But I found that this was nice. It was kind of transformative. And, you know, then COVID happened, and now we're living we were living the BC. Now we're living the AC. The before COVID, the after COVID, you know?
That's it. That's the name of my new band, BCAC.
Are you ready?
No, except it's got to be more of a an even raspier voice, like you've been choking on something, like because you've been sick and coughing like crazy. If you ever want to do, oh god, there's a video out there. It's how to make an AC/DC song in like 30 seconds or something like that. And basically, to do the singing, just act like Marge Simpson screaming at something.
That's awesome.
One of the most accurate things I've ever heard.
That is accurate. I agree with that wholeheartedly. It speaks so strongly to our generation, you know?
It does.
Honestly, I'm at the point where, personally, I feel like, in regards to like my gifts and abilities and everything, I'm just ready for the door to open. You know, like I've done the preparation. I'm almost done with the schooling. Everything seems to be kind of lining up to something. And then, of course, my brain goes, no. And I'm like, yes. Because that's what I would tell anyone else I was mentoring, right?
Right.
And so I think if anyone is doing anything right now that is leading to something big, don't fear it. Roll with it. Because clearly you were meant to do it. You've got the stuff it takes.
This podcast.
Yes, exactly. I mean, this is awesome. You're great at it, you know?
Oh, thank you.
I just, I don't know. We just have so much fun here. And, you know, there are some weeks I listen and I bawl my eyes out. And some weeks I listen and I'm like, holy crap, I cannot believe these human beings went through this. And then some weeks I listen and I'm like, oh, that's me, totally. Or there are times where, like when I'm here, where it's a combination of fun and educational, you know? So you get a mix and it's wonderful.
Right, and I love the art episode that we had, and we haven't really been able to replicate it since. So I'm like, if it happens again, let's let it happen organically. I'm not going to try to force it.
Yeah. It's a good thing, though. I mean, really a good thing. That's great.
I always love the art episodes.
The art episodes are great. We got to get some art. So, at the risk of sounding silly, do you guys have questions for me?
No doors, stay here. Cat said that.
That's awesome.
I don't really have any questions.
Cool.
And I'm supposed to have the questions because that's supposed to be what the host does.
Hey, Bexy, do you have any questions?
She's like, oh, I got questions.
I may be able to answer them depending on how deep they go.
I have many questions. However, I don't think that they are necessarily questions for you. I just have questions in general.
Right.
That's kind of how it goes, right? You know? Yeah.
Well, it's like, they say M&M's is the chocolate that melts in your mouth, not in your hands. What happens if you put it between your butt cheeks?
That should be a t-shirt.
That's a way. That's a good insult. You look like you store your M&Ms in your butt cheeks.
See, that's awesome. Oh my god! So I listen to this morning show when I'm heading to work often because in the mornings I seem to be a very depraved human being that thrives on horrible humor. It's just my way. And this morning I was listening to it and there was this person doing a song about a puppet and I nearly had a nervous breakdown and crashed my car.
Oh.
The most ridiculously funny, scary, creepy thing ever. And the guy was like, and I'm singing in this kind of voice, don't trust puppets. And I'm just like, no. But the stuff he was saying was just, I had tears rolling down my cheeks. I'm driving in the rain and I'm like, this is not good. Must focus on the road. Just like, some days you got to start with a good laugh though, you know?
Oh yeah. No, there was a radio show that used to be on. It was syndicated. Only time in my life I ever woke up laughing because it was my alarm clock. They were doing a thing. It was the Mark and Brian show, and they were doing bulimic food critics.
Oh god! Oh god!
I woke up in tears laughing.
Oh. Oh my! That's gold right there.
The best part was when he's like, they're eating the soup. He's like, how's the soup? It's like, it's okay. Like, whoa, you're really holding it down. Like, yeah, it really doesn't really hit very well.
Oh.
Could not get away with it then this day and age, though.
No. But I can understand the humor when it was able to be freely shared upon the world. Jeez. So, interestingly, this just into the news desk. Something I've just kind of been playing with. People have asked me about this stuff recently too. If the spirits know what's going on in the world, if they can sense what we've been going through and what's been happening, and the answer is yes, they can. And in Savannah especially, I've noticed when things seem really tense with people, spirits seem tense. When things kind of start going back a little bit normal, a little bit more comfortable, that tends to loosen up a little bit on the spiritual side too. It's really interesting, the ebb and flow that the veil has with the natural world. It's really weird, but it all affects each other, you know?
I think, at least around me, something is getting thinner. I'm seeing more than I've seen in the past.
Yes. That makes sense.
Okay, everybody needs to read The Wheel of Time because, this,
There
about the thinning of barriers.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, there is. I struggled for a long time to learn how to. I don't want to say like turn it off, but like to kind of shield myself from all of it.
Oh yeah,
because
I can turn it off sometimes. You can do that.
well, I don't ever want to turn it off, but there are times where I've had to almost put up extra barriers when I'm feeling like energy reserves of my own are running low.
Yeah,
And
exactly. Exactly. I get that.
but lately I've been good.
Yeah,
I and I mean, aside from, my physical ailment and
sure.
stuff like that, but like mentally and emotionally and stuff, I've been pretty good.
That's really good.
Um and so, but I've noticed quite an uptick in the things that I'm seeing, and
Yeah.
sometimes it's a whole figure, sometimes it's a flash of something that I catch out of the corner of my eye.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's things that I don't know exactly what they are.
Yeah.
They don't, those are the ones that scare me the most because they don't exactly resemble humans, and I'm not sure what to make of them.
Gotcha. Well, that's something, if you're interested at all, definitely I would be interested to know more about those, and maybe I'd be able to help shed some light for you. But yeah, I mean, there's definite like when I'm the way when I'm at my best, for example, the spirit world opens right up to me. It's like you said, when your reserves are lower and you're just not quite there, you just kind of have to put the shields up, let everything kind of just slide and go. I remember during lockdown, especially, there was zero spirit activity. It was like shut down, and it wasn't just me. It was just straight up everything across
Yeah,
the
yeah,
board.
I noticed that.
Yep.
I saw and felt
Yeah,
nothing
exactly.
for the longest time, and I thought, was I really crazy all along?
Yes, exactly. Thank you. And that's what I'm talking about. Like it affected everything.
I mean, I really reeled from that for a while because it
Yep.
was like I'm 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 so used to being able to sense the things that are around me.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of them are like, these are people that I've seen most of my life, like my dad. Do you know how weird it was for me? For 2 years, I did not see my father.
Yeah.
I
That
sent him
totally
around me
yeah.
until the other day. I caught wind of his cologne and saw a blue flannel shirt disappear around a doorway, and I was
Yay,
back.
he's back. That's awesome, honey. Yeah, I mean, I had a situation. It was right after lockdown, after things started lifting and they let us kind of go out and be sort of human again. I had a friend ask me to meet her for coffee, and she revealed to me she had a spiritual attachment. And I actually had to go into kind of full on exorcism mode and actually remove the attachment from her. And it was like my first outing in a really long time. It took so much energy. I think I was in bed for like a day and a half afterwards. And it was just crazy. It worked. Thank God it worked.
I could
But
imagine that. Just wow.
yeah, I mean, but the fact that all of a sudden out of nowhere is like stuff's happening. Like it was just when it started back up, it started back up. I mean, it was just incredible how fast that happened. And I mean,
Yeah.
I went from nothing to I was mentoring 3 people, I was doing multiple readings, I've had that situation, and it was like, whoa, 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 I've got to make sure that we're staying on top of keeping the batteries charged and staying level and functional and everything. And it's just it I think it's great that you're able to see again and things are happening, which is wonderful. And that I think
Yeah.
does you're also in a good place. So that's really good.
I wish, there was the other night, just a couple weeks ago, about a week before my birthday, actually. One of my stuffed animals flew off a shelf, and I don't mean it fell and hit the ground. I mean it raised up and flew.
Well, damn. I
And I
believe that.
went, "Who's angry with me? Why are you throwing my doggy?"
Were they just trying to get your attention?
I think so. Nothing else happened after that.
No, just that.
I think it was just a, hey, I'm here.
Hey, I'm here. Don't forget me. Yeah. I mean, it was like that. Like, even with my spirit guides, it went a little dark for a while. I was just like, hey, guys, you're still there, right? And I could feel like, yeah, we're still here. You know, I could feel the energy, but it was like, we are hanging back on purpose. We need to. And it's like, it's been great. Like, I mean, the last few months, obviously, with everything going on, weren't necessarily totally great, but they weren't horrible. But I mean, it's just been a good time for self awareness, growth, evolution, just healing things that have been happening. And I mean, just for me, it's weird. I've gone through kind of this almost cocoon like phase, I guess you could say, because literally I went from being overwhelmed with all the I guess activity, living and otherwise, and then having people in my life who were not really I don't want to say serving me, that doesn't sound right. These people were just kind of taking, and it was very reminiscent of when I was a teenager and I would try to people please or try to save everybody. And I was like, dude, I don't need this. And literally all those people have completely slid off this side of the mountain for me, which is nice. So I'm starting kind of at square one. So like right now, not mentoring anyone. I don't have any social calendar friends or anything, but it's good.
That sounds like me.
Yeah.
I don't have any friends.
You have friends, silly. You're with your friends. We're here. We love you.
No, I can't say that. I'm not a friend. I'm family now.
Yes.
Definitely. You guys are family. And maybe one day I too will be family.
You're already my family girl.
Whatever. You're my sister. I love you too. I also wanted to say, and this was another interesting thing, and I think it's great to be able to actually have this.
Just a quick little note. Jay just threw a shoe at me.
Oh.
Because I don't have friends.
Oh, that was, yeah, you had that shoe coming, E.
I did.
You did.
I totally did.
That shoe was meant for you, dear.
Oh, yes, it was.
I was going to get upset about the I don't have friends comment until I thought about it for a second, and I was like, yeah, I'm family. I don't care.
Well, it doesn't matter now. Yeah. It's nice on one hand because, number one, we're putting information out that could be useful to people that, number one, may kind of be interested in this stuff and not know. Two, people that also have gifts and abilities. And three, the really important thing is the undeveloped sensitives. This time has been so hard for those people, okay? And I'm talking to you baby psychics, empaths, mediums, anybody with gifts, okay, of that type that are undeveloped. Unfortunately, this time has felt like one big attack. It's been probably a lot of overwhelming emotions all at once because we feel everything everybody else feels, and then we can also perceive things beyond what other people are able to perceive often. So we have our stuff, the world stuff, spirit stuff, and then some of you may have these gifts that aren't honed, aren't developed. You don't know how to protect and defend yourself against these things. You may not even know what your abilities are exactly, what they mean. You may be scared of them, scared by them. But I mean, the thing is people like me exist to help with that. And I didn't have that when I was a kid, and I really needed it. And I think that's the biggest reason I've become what I have, is so that other people can have someone to go, number one, you're not crazy at all. Two, your gifts are real. And three, here's how you can protect yourself. Use those gifts if you'd like to, or relinquish them if you don't want them, in a safe way, you know? And I think the world needs that in other ways too. Like there needs to be like it's almost like Harry Potter. Like it's the Ministry of Magic. For me, it's the Ministry of Psychicness, you know, or whatever you want to call it. Like, you know, and I'm like the professor of the, hey, here's where you start, guys. kind of thing, you know?
Gotcha.
Intro to Psychics 101 with Missy.
Yes. Intro to Psychics 101.
And not sidekicks.
No, that's a different class. That's in superhero school, guys.
You have to go to Sky High for that one.
I'm terrified about The Boys season 3. Okay, anyway.
I am really looking forward to it.
I cannot wait for it to come out.
I'm terrible. I still haven't watched Diabolical.
You did. Was it good?
I haven't watched it yet. I've heard it's great, though.
Okay, so you're ready for it, though.
Yeah.
What? Diabolical. Yep, she had to come back, didn't she?
Oh.
You should have heard. You should have heard me. I swear, I don't know why, but when I get loopy, I go into accents, whatever they may be. I get on the British dialect, the Irish, the whatever. And I was this week at work, guys, super stressful. Okay, it was just one of those weeks where if anything could have gone wrong, it did. And just grateful tomorrow's Friday. But my coworker and I were trying to get through a very arduous task yesterday, and all of a sudden we just started talking to each other like we were British. And all of a sudden just laughing to get through it. And it made it so much better. But I laughed so hard that we attracted the attention of my boss, and she came in to see what was going on. And I was like, well, we're just here putting in these fuel rates. What are you doing? And then just like disintegrating further into insanity from there. It was fun. We have to remember how to have fun and laugh, y'all. Fun is not outlawed.
No. And actually, when you were talking about the psychic abilities, all that, I think that's when Jay threw this in. I've been on that world for over 30 years and totally get what you're saying. I keep myself out of the spotlight these days, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's... Yeah, I mean, I had to step away from a lot of the things that I used to do, not because I wanted to, but like just out of pure necessity, because, you know, there was just no time for it, or no one wanted to. I mean, that's something I'm facing right now, is I almost feel obsolete or useless because it's been so long since anyone's needed or wanted anything from me in that sense. So I've kind of almost felt like that part of myself has been in stasis for months now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm just.
What? And then on the counseling side of things, I oftentimes will say, you know, if anyone needs anything, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I don't want to burden you. And I'm like, I'm begging you, please burden me.
It's not a burden if I'm telling you to do this. That's
It's
one
not
thing
a
that
burden.
people need to understand.
Not a burden ever at all. I would not offer to be here if it were a burden.
Exactly.
You know?
I know. I run into that all the time with, you know, people that I will chat with, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, they'll tell me they're just feeling really bad, and I'll be like, oh, okay, so talk to me and tell me what's going through your head. And their
Yeah.
first thing is, I don't want to burden you. I wouldn't have asked. I didn't ask out of politeness. I didn't
No,
ask
because I cared. and I
just to be
wanted
nice.
Yeah.
I did this because I genuinely think I may be able to help you.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, completely. And I love that. You know, I wish people weren't afraid to be open about stuff, because the only way we're going to heal things is if we talk about them openly. And if we can make things less, what's the word I'm looking for? Stigmatizing,
Yeah.
you know? And it's hard, because I know literally whether I have a piece of paper that says I have a PhD or not, at this point, I'm equipped to counsel people. Okay. At this point, I am in a place where, hey, I'm here. And it's just like the fishies are not biting. And I'm just like, does this mean I'm not supposed to do this? Is this the time when I'm supposed to second guess myself? And then what'll happen invariably, and it's no slight on anybody, this is just a very normal thing that happens, especially with sensitives, especially with empathic sensitives, is you will attract the wrong kind of people too. And I mean, it's hard to talk about it because on one hand, it's like, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. I'm not. And I don't want to sound like I'm putting someone down. I'm not. But a lot of times you will attract people that are very narcissistic or extremely insecure to the point that no matter what you say, they're not going to take your advice. Or worse, they'll take it so seriously, they'll just drop off the face of the earth and you don't know if they're okay or not. And you have to learn how not to take that personally and how to just be like, look, it's not like you were mean. It's not like you were giving unsolicited advice. It's not like you were forcing yourself on them. They came to you wanting something from you. And, the other thing I face is that part of me that's working on hopefully soon becoming a businesswoman, owning my own business to do this professionally. And at what point do I stop giving away myself or giving away my gifts? Like, where's the line between, hey, I'm just here to help, and hey, here's the professional person who charges for her time and resources, And it's like, I never intend, like when it comes to Twitter and stuff, yeah, if I give you a reading, I'm going to give you a huge discount, your family, it's cool. I'm never, ever going to say you owe me money, for me to sit here and help you. That's not what I'm about. But at what point do I then put up the shield and say, oh, I see you're one of those people who's not really here for what I have to offer. You're just here to take what you can from me. And I just want to safely say, nope, I'm not here for that. But thank you for your, input or whatever. It's like, it's just, there's this fine line. And you don't ever want to cross it because it's almost like this ethical bridge. And it's like, okay, if I take this step, I may alienate this person. If I don't take this step, this person's going to hurt my feelings or steal my energy. Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a name for those. The energy vampires.
Yes, those. Yes, 100%.
You got to look out for number one. I mean, that's all there is to it.
This is very true.
You can't help anybody if you're not in a position to be helpful.
No, exactly. And, one of the pieces of advice I often give, you cannot take care of people if you don't take care of yourself.
Exactly.
You can't worry about my influence being, like, how can my influence be harmful to this person if I'm doing the same thing I am to person A as person B? When person B's just got the issues and just wants to suck the life out of you,
Right.
It's the difference between, if you were my patient, at this point, I would refer you to somebody who can give you medication or a deeper form of therapy than I can, whereas if you're not my patient, great. I wish you all the best, but I'm just not comfortable continuing this.
Right.
It's hard. It's a hard line.
It is hard because as an empathic person, it's hard to, people come to you basically asking you to help carry, this emotional load.
Correct.
And
you said load.
I
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
I'm so glad you didn't say ball.
So you're asked to carry, help carry all of their emotional strain.
Yep.
And you have to care about a person, but not carry their burden on with you after.
Correct.
Right. And I think that's just for, like, anyone that helps, regardless of how you help.
Just
for all helpers.
For all helpers, but especially for empathic helpers.
Yes.
Because we don't always know how to set those emotions down when the person that has asked us to help carry them has gone on.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, I know that there, I'll even post stuff about this on Twitter occasionally, but there are boundaries, and those boundaries exist for a reason, and that's for us to protect ourselves as well as to be able to care the best we can for others and help the best we can. And one of the hardest things in the world is, while I have worked very hard to become the person I am, and I'm perfectly comfortable setting regular boundaries as a human, yeah, no problem. I got that. As this other part of myself, it's hard to do because, as you said, you're feeling all the emotions, and you're feeling yours and theirs. I mean, it's not just that one simple moment where it's like, oh, okay, cool, you're done with me? Great. All right, I'm gonna lay down this book. That was the book of all the stuff you did. Fantastic. Moving on to the next, because we still have residual energy we have to work through, and it's okay to do that. It's okay to take the time to do that.
And you should take the time to do that. Your own health matters. Your own mental well-being matters.
Correct. And it doesn't matter whether you're a psychic, an empath, if you're a nurse, if you're a teacher, if you are a physical doctor of some type.
A CNA.
Yes. If you are a person hosting a podcast,
Yeah, that's true.
It's all about balance, and self-care is a huge deal. Like, I have always been like, oh yeah, self-care, Let me tell you, until I learned what self-care really was, I had no clue. Absolutely no clue.
No, I get that.
And I mean, I get that. That was very nail on the head, duh. But let me tell you, when you're somebody who's like, oh yeah, I'm spiritual and high-minded, here's some platitudes, here's some advice, here's some pretty thoughts for the day. But when you understand how powerful it is to really care for yourself in a way that empowers you to care for others, as well as to have the physical and emotional strength to do so, it's kind of incredible. Like, we have depths we don't even know we have.
True, and we lost Bexy.
We did. Where'd she go? Is she okay?
I don't know. I didn't get a message. I'm wondering if the phone just died.
Eek! I hope everything's all right. I hope she'll come back soon.
Probably. Again, probably what happened is that the phone battery died and didn't notice.
That could have happened. Plug it in.
But yeah, I'm just keeping an eye out for the what's back in the room. No. Yes.
Come on, Bexy, come back. I though, it's fun now because I can get back into, oh, there's this TV show I want to see. Or, oh, I'm actually excited. There's actually movies coming out I want to see for the first time in I don't know how long. And there's stuff to do and look forward to. And it's like, life is sort of kind of making a comeback, and it's nice.
It is.
In general.
I'm wanting to go to concerts again.
Yeah. Well, what's the first one? If you could go to any concert, what's the first one you would go to, E?
Any concert? Wow, that's a tough one because there's so many groups out there that I want to see.
Yeah.
There's one that's coming to the area that one person coming in that's not from the States that I really want to see. It's Aurora. They're going to be in San Francisco. Yeah. If you haven't listened to Aurora, all caps, you should.
What kind of music is it?
Norse pop, tribal. It's its own thing. It is. She does amazing stuff.
That's very cool.
Other than that, maybe I would love to see Infected Mushroom. I'd love to see Tool.
Yeah, awesome.
If I could bring people back from the dead, Rush.
Sure, yeah.
What about you?
I think the first.
Oh, Kat named. Yeah, I'm sorry. Kat just said one that I want to see as well. The Who. H-U.
Ooh. But not W-H-O?
No, yeah, just H-U. They're a Mongolian rock band.
Nice.
Like metal. They cover Metallica. And they're the first band ever to become a canon band in the Star Wars universe.
Nice. I love that.
And Bexy had to go because of pain. I just got the message.
Poor Bexy. Well, we're definitely sending her our love and support, and I'm sorry she had to go.
All right, so now back to who would you go see?
So I think probably first on my list would have to be, and only because I really wanted to see them a few years ago, and they were here in Savannah, and I felt dumb for missing it. And this is going to sound funny, don't make fun of me, the Doobie Brothers.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because I love that stuff. And then I would think next on my list after that, I would probably want to see, oh gosh, I mean, whoa. I got like a mile-long list of all kinds of stuff. There's a couple bands that frequent the Celtic and Renaissance fair scenes. You know, I would probably want to revisit some of those. There's I think the Rogues. I'm not sure if they're still together or not. They were good. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen live music. Like, I don't even what is live music? I don't even remember what that is.
My last live concert that I went to, it was Soundgarden and Nine Inch Nails.
What?
And that was about 2 months before Chris Cornell.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, man, it was an amazing concert.
I'm so glad you got to do that.
Well, Nine Inch Nails is my favorite group. So I will go and watch Nine Inch Nails every time.
I would probably just want, there's one song in particular I probably would just be like, can you do a mini concert just with this one song for me?
Which one?
Closer.
Of course.
Everybody's favorite. And that's one of those songs that when I was very young, I was like, why do I like this? Why do I like this? What is wrong with me? It's like, it's pretty awesome.
Help me. Broke apart my inside.
I mean, come on.
My favorite Nine Inch Nails album is The Fragile.
Ooh.
The 2-disc one.
Hats off to you, sir. And then, movie-wise, are there any you're looking forward to seeing?
The Batman.
Missy has left the building.
There's not a lot of...
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
We're getting ready to go into the summer movie season, so there's...
Yes.
I'm waiting to see what's coming. But
Yes.
as of what's out right now, The Batman.
The Batman. I'm looking forward to... It looks really fun, The Lost City. I'm looking forward to the new Jurassic World movie, which...
I like the fact that that's going to bring like all the franchises together.
Yes. That's why I'm excited about it, because it's like, yay, because Jurassic Park's the bomb to me. I was stupid and read the synopsis for the new Matrix movie, so when it came out, I was like, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, I started, like, at first I was kind of excited about it, but then I went, wait, the first Matrix was amazing, and then other ones were just kind of, yeah, and like, I mean, I love the Animatrix. Matrix 2 was Matrix 3 was
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like that, though. You get a really good franchise going, and usually it's like the first one's the best one. Same with Pirates of the Caribbean. I really felt like the first one was the greatest.
Oh, by far. No, I mean, they did a great job on...
Oh, surely.
Like, how they wrapped it all up. That was well done.
Yes.
But yeah, seriously.
I mean, that movie I think I've seen 500 times.
You know how bad The Matrix did, the new one?
No, how bad?
So bad that Warner Brothers canceled all future Matrix movies. It said that you guys will never work for us again.
Dang.
And what didn't help them very much either is that they went on a full-blown like Rampage against their fans who are criticizing on Twitter.
Why? Like, what is the purpose of
I don't get why people do that.
We have the right to say we do or don't like something you've offered us. As a moviegoer, I can say, A, I'm not buying the ticket, and B, if I did buy the ticket, I didn't like the movie, and here's why. You know? I mean, the first Matrix movie was one of the greatest films of our time.
Oh, I put that as probably the greatest film
Top 10
of the 20th century.
Yes, I agree with that. Fantastic film. I mean, and we're talking like strong script, fantastic acting, the special effects, the music, the costuming, everything was off the chain.
It was a complete movie.
And it was 1999, to put that in perspective. We've had things like Avatar since then. That movie is still, for me, so far above board in terms of just how great the effects were.
I still haven't actually seen Avatar.
That's okay. I've only seen it the one time, and I watched it at home. So I probably haven't even had the real experience, you know?
So there's I hope that the theaters around here do it again, where they do a like middle of the week, they bring back classic movies. If they ever bring back Avatar,
you'll go see it?
I'll go see it.
Yay! So confession, apparently this was a very big deal around the water cooler a couple weeks ago when I revealed this. I've never seen Titanic. Don't care. Don't want to see it.
That movie was in theaters for over a year.
Yeah. I was in high school when that movie came out, and I was like,
It's a pretty good movie, I will say that. The effects were amazing.
I mean, is it?
The effects were amazing.
Okay, I'll give you that. It was probably impressive. I couldn't do the whole melodrama romance thing. And this is from a girl who loves romance novels, loves Hallmark movies. I like everything. Like, The Notebook was one of the best, movies ever, in my opinion, as a chick flick lover. But Titanic just seemed so over the top. Also, I think I was very anti-Leonardo DiCaprio at the time, which is funny because I'm pretty anti-Leonardo DiCaprio anyway. However, one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time is The Man in the Iron Mask. Go figure.
Oh, that movie was so good.
Such a good movie. Oh my gosh, so good. So like I give him leave for that one just because that's one of my absolute favorite all-time movies. But other than that, I think that had a lot to do with it at the time. And I was also one of those kids who was like, I'm not watching a single show on the WB. I'm not getting into any of this teeny bopper stuff. No way. And now I'm going, oh crap, what have I done?
Right. I'm not going to watch anything on the WB. Oh, Supernatural, I love you. Wait a minute.
No, I broke my own rule. No. Only thing saving me is the fact that they only lasted 1 season and then it was the CW, but still. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that switch over too.
Do you? Was that arduous, as you recall?
No, I mean, it's just when it went from the WB to the CW, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh, okay. Because that was the only show that went with them,
Yeah.
If you think about that, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
But I remember, like, there was UPN, and there was WB, and then all of a sudden there was CW, and I was like, okay, cool. Put it together. Because it was always weird to me that Angel was on one network and Buffy was on another. I was like,
huh?
What's up with this?
Yeah. And Kat's on her way out. See ya, Kat. Good night. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, Kat. Thank you. Do you read books, E?
I do audiobooks because I have young kids, so I don't have time for books.
How do you find time for audiobooks? Teach me a great one.
Commuting. That's a good time.
Yeah. There you go.
My job has lots of downtime because I do software testing, and there's a lot of tests that require waiting.
Oh, cool. Okay.
When I lay my kids down for bed, I'll just go ahead and throw in an audiobook. I stay in the bedroom with them while they're going to sleep.
Yeah. That's sweet of you.
Well, they're my kids.
Well, duh, but there are plenty of dads that aren't that hands-on, and I think it's wonderful that you are. So I'm giving you props,
Aw,
man.
thank you.
You're welcome. You earned it.
Like I said, they're my kids. I don't take having kids all that lightly. Yeah, there are times I'm just like, you know what? I need a break from you guys. You go do your thing. I'm going to go do my thing.
Yep. But I know you love them.
Oh, very much so. I have enough of them.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should love them given how many you have. Yes. You have a menagerie of babies, you do.
I do.
You do.
A babe-nagerie.
A menagerie. So what kind of books do you audiobook then?
Lately, so I have the list of books I need to go through, and I'm actually rereading or going through The Wheel of Time again.
That's what happens to me. I always have this list of like, here's the books I'm going to read this year at some point, but here's me reading Pride and Prejudice for the 8,000th time, right, and one of my romance novels. And rereading this entire series of Dark Hunter books all over again from the beginning.
But I went through, I got Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead.
Yes,
and I did, like, I got Atlas Shrugged. I listened to it twice in a row. Good. And then I got The Fountainhead and did the same thing.
Which one did you like better?
Well, I like Atlas Shrugged better. Personally.
Yep.
But, I mean, you have to, it's like, if you're going to read Atlas Shrugged, you gotta at least do The Fountainhead as well, because, I mean,
Fountainhead's so good.
They're intertwined. Like, it's the same philosophy, but it's like the Fountainhead's more of like the caricature version of the philosophies, where they're the pure versions. Yeah, where exactly. Atlas Shrugged, it's more humanized because it's more blended. Where you can see aspects of, where you have those people that they don't have a set philosophy. They just kind of pick up bits and pieces as they go.
Yeah.
And then you have those with a very set philosophy, so it's like it's a little bit of everything. It's all over the place. And I like that because that's how life is. It's messy.
It is. It's a quilt of all sorts of different stitches and colors and types of material.
Exactly.
Absolutely agree with that. I'm really into the dystopian stuff right now. That's kind of my jam.
Oh, so you mean like current day? Because we're almost in a dystopian at this point.
You know what, E? I'm going to... No, I'm just kidding.
Go for it!
I'm talking about the fun dystopian stuff where, like, no, I'm just kidding. I mean, yes, but... And then, oddly enough, I decided to try to bribe my mom into watching The Walking Dead, finally, which she did agree to. And it was my second watch of the series all the way through.
I was way into it in the first season, and I fell out of it hard in the second season.
So good for the first few seasons, and then it just does this weird thing. And I'm so invested in the characters. The only reason I watch is because I want to know what happens to my characters. That's it. But the first few seasons were so
They all die.
Shut up. They don't all die. I hope not. This is not a spoiler alert, by the way, people, okay? Not a spoiler. If anyone who is listening is a fan of The Walking Dead or is on The Walking Dead or is connected somehow to The Walking Dead, we apologize. That was not a spoiler alert.
But, I mean, it's been out long enough that,
Yeah.
It's not like the Batman. I'm not giving away spoilers for people that haven't had a chance to go see it, rent it, whatever. Oh, by the way, just throwing it out there, Turning Red was amazing.
The what was?
Turning Red.
Was it?
Oh, yeah.
Fantabulous. High praise. I like it.
I definitely recommend Turning Red. Ignore what you may have heard about it. Just watch it.
Listen to what E says and watch it. Do the thing.
Yeah, just do the thing.
I'm apparently going to be enjoying Bridgerton season 2, which I don't think I will, but my mom's sure of it. So we've also done a recent rewatch of all of Downton Abbey, which, by the way, I never get sick of Downton Abbey. That is so well written and so well acted. I feel like it's just visiting family members. I love it so much.
I might have to watch that sometime. Did you ever watch The Good Place?
I love The Good Place. So, The Good Place, that is one of my feel-good shows. I even love the ending. Like
It ended so well.
Beautiful. It was such a good ending, and it was at the right time in the right way.
Those writers, it was genius from beginning to end. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It was absolute genius.
Kudos to everybody, because it's so rare in this day and age to find that. And I was so happy about it. But, you know, I mean, sometimes I'll just be like randomly doing something, and all of a sudden I'll go, Chidi Ariana Grande. I said words. Yay. It's like, it's Anna Gagne. Okay.
And then there's the forking shirt.
Yes. If you're trying to curse, you can't do that here. Why not? What?
That's some serious bullshit.
Yeah. Fork me. Aw. Butthead. Oh, I can say butthead.
That was so awesome.
Eleanor's the greatest. Hey, Busty Alexa? Her name's Janet. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Janet was brilliant. And that actress is one of the best.
Darcy is great. I broke Michael. Like, man, Chidi, why'd you have to break out all the philosophy on this poor guy? Jeez. I will tell you, though, I had figured out basically about 5 seconds before Eleanor figured out where they really were in the first season. I was like, oh, I got it right?
Yeah, I did the same kind of thing. It was like just before. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I know.
And that laugh. Like, seriously, like, Ted Danson's one of those actors that you have to cast him in the right role.
Yes.
And he's amazing when he's in the right role. And this was probably the best role I've ever seen him in.
Ever seen him in.
Ever.
Ever. Yeah.
Like, blows cheers away.
Oh, God. Yeah. No. I mean, this was the Ted Danson role, in my opinion. Take it sleazy.
Oh, God. And like the from the second season on, it's like those writers deliberately wrote themselves into a corner in each episode.
You put the peeps in the chili pot and add the M&Ms. What? I mean, it was, do you remember do you remember the episode in particular where they thought they were going to send everybody to the bad place? Like, specifically, Eleanor was going to go on the train to the bad place.
Yes.
And somehow Michael got these secret messages through to everybody, and they actually were there after the train left, and he almost cried. I literally cried. I was so relieved. I was like, oh my God, they're getting close.
Yep, my two favorite scenes of the entire series. The first scene, the dog, the kick, the son.
Yes. Has anyone seen my dog? Fluffy. Oops.
It's not real anyway. My dog's not real. No, yours was absolutely real.
My dog's not real. Oh, your dog was real.
The second one was the trolley scene.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Make a choice, Chidi.
Poor Chidi.
What if I choose this people and then like open mouth, blood and guts? Like, oh God.
That was so great.
It was awesome. And he's like so traumatized, and Michael's all like, well, I guess I could have taught you this a different way. It was like, what?
Right. But I mean, that is one of the greatest like mental like philosophical conundrums that you can have.
How can I save one and let the many die? How can I save the many and let the one die?
Right.
And my answer would be, I'll just kill myself. That way I don't have to make the choice. Which was kind of my choice. If I was in the Saw movies, I would be like, I choose to die now. Because, honestly, the worst one for me, I don't know which movie it was in specifically, if it was like the second or the third or one of the later ones. Because after the first one, I was just kind of like, whatever. But when this girl gets picked up by her upper arms and thrown into a pit of syringes.
Oh!
To me, that's the absolute worst possible thing in the universe. To have someone else make a decision like that for me. because it's like, that's my body, that's my business.
Yeah, I think that was one of the Saw movies.
Yes, that was Saw, and that was, I think it was like the third or fourth Saw movie.
Yeah, I remember. I used to have a thing where we would how do I put it best? It was like every year, right before Halloween, we would do a Saw marathon and add in, and we'd go to the theater for the new Saw right after we marathoned them all.
Okay, that way you could watch them all at once and be ready.
Yeah.
I used to do that with Spider-Man movies. Deadpan.
I still have to see No Way Home.
You have to, because it's gonna bring everything around circle for you. Full, all the way around the circle for you. And if you've seen all of the Tobey Maguire, all of the
I have.
You know, and now Tom Holland.
I have.
You're gonna lose your mind.
And I also watched Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, okay, all right.
Which they're making a second one.
Oh my God, are they?
I heard that. I heard the rumor that there's a second Spider-Verse coming.
Ooh, and the other thing was, I recently watched the second season of The Witcher. I immediately ordered 8 episodes to be made just for me right after. It was so good.
Yeah, you guys have to do this.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I need 8 more episodes stat. Because that was just really great. That's one of those shows where I went into it very much like, this is probably going to be very kick-ass, and we just have to see what happens. It was, and then we waited a while for more, got it, and now it's like, oh, I need more. It's like this like addiction thing almost, where it's like, I'm clawing at the walls, give me more of this, please. I need something. I don't care. Show me Henry Cavill's arm. At this point, I'll take anything. What have you got for me?
Meanwhile, Jay just left dinner time. Toodles.
Aw, toodaloodles.
And Jay's my house guest, which means that I have to wait. Because I'm already to the podcast. But that's okay. I'm used to eating a little bit later because of the podcast.
Oh.
Sometimes I get to scarf something down before. But I'd been up since 5 o'clock this morning, and I actually cut out of work a little early so I could take a nap before the show. Oh, fortunately, I can choose my hours.
That's good. I like that. Good for you. Do you did you watch Upload?
No, never even heard of it.
Okay, so it's one of the shows that's on Amazon. It's one of their originals. It is one of those afterlife type shows, kind of like The Good Place, if you will.
Okay.
Really interesting, a different premise than you're used to. Season 2 finally just dropped. I watched the whole thing in like a day like an idiot. Now I'm sad. But Season 1, really, really neat stuff. Okay, Season 2 is good, but I felt like it was ramping up, and then all of a sudden it was done, and I was like, no, I need Season 3 tomorrow. It was that kind of feeling.
Right.
Season 1, though, was just like the idea, the concept, just really cool. Really freaking cool. So you may want to give that one a...
I'll have to check that one out. Have you seen American Gods?
No. I've heard good things.
Ooh, it is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good.
I guess I'm going to have to give that one a try. Did you do American Horror Story?
I did not. I need to, though.
They're all intertwined, so you have to watch them all.
And I haven't seen, was it Black Mirror or Broken Mirror or whatever?
That one, okay, so I tried a couple episodes of it. I couldn't do it. I tried. I was just like, no, I can't. I mean, I was warned it would be twisted, and it's interesting because I'll watch The Boys, which is very twisted.
But it's also very funny.
It is. But the whole Black Mirror concept, that was beyond, like, it was like a very disturbing version of, I would say, Twilight Zone, Night Gallery, that sort of thing. It doesn't have the lesson, though. You expect there to be, there sometimes is like this immoral payoff, but not a moral payoff, if you will, at the end. You're just like, what the heck did I just do? And I watched 2 episodes of it, and I was just very disturbed I was like, nope, not my cup of tea. Okay, moving on. I tried though. I really did.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, but no, seriously, like the boys. Oh God, I just love the way Huey gets pulled into it.
I know.
I was dying. I was horrified and laughing my ass off at the same time.
It was weird for me because I did try to watch it early on when it first came out, and the first 5 minutes were so slow. I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be watching for, and I was just like, what is this crap? This is no. And then I went back and was like, all right, I'll try it again. And all I had to do was wait a minute and a half longer, and I would have understood.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see that coming. Like a train Mack truck. I did not see that coming at all. And absolutely, right. I think my favorite person in the show is Huey's dad.
Oh, well, I mean, come on.
Obviously.
He's a legend, and I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that hasn't had a chance to watch it yet.
Me neither.
Because, I mean, we're only coming up on season 3, so I'm not going to spoil anything. But
exactly. But, yeah,
I mean, Huey's dad is a fucking movie legend. Dad.
Absolutely, hands down, one of the greatest stars of our time.
I just hate that his role is so diminished because...
I know!
But, you know, he does bigger things than the boys, so, yeah.
Of course. It's kind of like the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I'm here, you know, kind of thing. But
it was basically, it's his endorsement.
Oh, yeah. I did not expect to care about the villain as much as I do. And I did
right? Season 2, you're like...
Seriously.
You're like, God damn it. It's like, I'm supposed to hate you.
I'm supposed to freaking hate you.
I mean, I still hate you, but I'm starting to feel a little sorry for you.
Yes, exactly. I kind of understand why you're the monster you are now.
It doesn't excuse that I hate what you've done, but oh my God.
Yeah. And then at one point I'm just like, yeah.
What happened to him in season 1, though? With that one lady?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, man. I was like, whoa. I mean, I know what he did was wrong, but nobody deserves that.
Well,
I mean, it's poetic justice, but goddamn.
It is. And then the airplane thing.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah. That, for me, was the moment I was like, oh, hell no.
That was heartbreaking.
Horrible. And I was just like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. There's got to be... Okay, there's not. And I was like, this is going to destroy her more than... He's not going to care.
Because he doesn't. Yeah. And then, of course, the actress, Erin Moriarty. Starfire.
I love her.
I'm in love with her.
She's so precious. I just want to snuggle her and hold her and keep her safe forever.
She's become my Hollywood crush.
So cute. So cute. Oh.
And I love... Oh, did you ever see the outtakes from when they were trying to do the hospital scene with Huey?
No.
And he kept laughing when he wasn't supposed to?
I'll have to look those up.
Oh my God, they were amazing.
Oh my God. Funny story about... Speaking of Huey. Okay, so I don't think I'm going to ruin anything by revealing this little tidbit, but... My mother tried to watch a few episodes with me, and I applaud her for being brave and trying. She was like, why does he look old? And I'm like, he doesn't look old. He looks familiar. He's like 10 years younger than me. Come on. And she's like, what? And I'm like, okay, here's who his parents are. And she's like, oh. I was like, yeah, he looks a lot like his dad, doesn't he?
Now, you know that, like the scene where Huey's infiltrating?
Yes.
That song?
Yes.
That was my alarm clock for a while.
Oh, really? Exactly. That'll whip your ass up.
Oh, God. That song just, it pumps me.
Well, and the whole Billy Joel thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, okay, this is going to make my life great. And I understand the show's very triggering. It is not pleasant. It is not an easy watch.
This is for a very specific audience.
Yeah, this is...
You have to have a dark sense of humor and be able to watch very traumatic things.
Yes, and you would have had to have dealt with your own shit to be able to handle it.
Yeah,
It
because
is
I
not
mean,
just oh, I like that person, so I'm going to watch it. Hint, hint to people who are looking forward to Jensen Ackles in season 3. Please don't just watch it for him. Please know it is not an easy show.
so did Jeffrey Dean Morgan actually sign on or not? I know he was in negotiations.
That is still in talks, as far as I know. I have seen some yes, some no. From
You know what? Odds are he's in. They're just playing it out.
Correct. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of an exciting, like, little, yeah, let's see what happens. And I don't know, did you watch the teaser trailer that came out for season 3?
No, I don't want to yet.
Okay. The teaser trailer, I have seen it, and please reserve all judgment till I'm finished, because you are going to judge me hard. Probably 55 times, and I'm not exaggerating. It's like 1 minute and 20 seconds of gold.
Oh,
And
well, the teaser trailer for number 2 was gold.
Yes, it was. It was good.
Oh my god, with the deep, that whale.
God dang deep, man. I tell you.
Like, seriously? Seriously, for those that are kind of curious about this, the deep, I'm just going to tell you right now, he's the character you're going to hate, and you're going to feel bad for at the same time.
Yes.
How they pull this off is a
fucking
miracle. These writers are evil geniuses.
Geniuses. Because they make you hate, think, and care all at once, and then they're making you laugh. There was actually a point in season 2 where I got teared up emotionally.
I got teared up over the dolphin in season 1.
I was mad. I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, God. That show's genius.
So, the one thing I will say about the deep is it's not his fault, but he's disgusting. It is not his fault, but he is disgusting.
It's not his fault, but
It is.
it is. Like,
It's not.
you're not responsible for how you're raised, but you are responsible for how you are as an adult.
Correct. And if you have certain predilections, perhaps you shouldn't give in to those. Ew. But it's, and then there was that whole, do you remember the scene with the girl and the deep and the whole,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No. And then I like the underlying intrigue too. It's like, oh, I know this about you. I'm going to hold it over your head. Oh, crap. All right, fine. Then I'm going to give you this thing so you'll shut up and leave me alone. Meanwhile, back at the farm, there's some deep, dark shit going on. And you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And then, of course, you get the shock of a lifetime. And then, of course, the bad thing happens and you cry. And then the cool thing happens and you cry. And then you go, what the fuck is this show? What have I been watching? And it's
Like, season 1, the best way to put it, that's just the epilogue.
That's it. That's just the getting
The
you
cliffhanger at the end of season 1
Oh, yeah.
is just the first paragraph of the main story.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you're just getting to chapter 1. Thank you. Welcome to the boys. And I don't know anything about, like, the comics or any of the graphic novels or anything.
I know that they
know.
completely changed,
Yeah.
oh, what's her name?
That
That main girl from season 2. The feminist.
Yeah, her. Yeah.
Was originally a dude.
Yes, it was originally a dude. They made her a girl. And then also, I know everybody's kind of freaking out about a particular episode coming up in season 3, also known as Hero-gasm, which is the sound of it. It just terrifies me to my core. First of all,
If you know anything about the show,
yeah,
you should be terrified.
anything could happen. You should be scared. Secondly, I've heard a couple stories from Mr. Ackles himself about it, and I'm terrified about the whole season. I'm extremely excited. I'm just like, I don't even know like how I'm going to process it. I just hope that I take my sweet time with it and savor the flavor, as it were. The flavor is not fresca, by the way, my friends. The flavor is, end of quote, not fresca.
I got dinner.
Yeah, good for you. But if I am going to endorse my own brand of anything, I think I want shoes. You know what I mean?
Endorsing, like...
Yeah, so like if I'm a superhero, okay, and I'm in the world of the boys, I want shoes. Like if you wear these shoes, you'll be light as a feather, like Feather Girl or whatever, you know. Like,
well,
like
A-Train should have shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's the energy drink or the, you know, hey, we're at this burger joint and it's all about Homelander, or you know, welcome to Vought Tower, home of the Seven. Here's a commemorative mug. Like, like, are you serious right now? And I think
Homelander in the streets, Queen Maeve in the sheets.
Holy shit. That's how screwed up this is. Totally.
And what's funny is that my Amazon profile picture is Homelander.
Oh my god, I love it. So
and for a while there, my Facebook one was Homelander too, just to see who were fans.
Oh my gosh. Are you drinking milk?
No, diet soda.
Damn it. Ruined my happy.
Do I look like a cat to you, boy?
Yeah.
Am I jumping dimly bimly from tree to tree?
No.
Am I drinking milk from a saucer? Am I out catching birds? Stop laughing right now.
Okay.
If you haven't seen Super Troopers.
No. Super lights are gonna shine down. I also, oddly, and no, I'm not going to say this because this will give too much away. Zip in the zip. Okay, I'm done. Yeah, so Homelander, that guy.
He's yeah.
Here's my other. Okay, do you remember Translucent?
Of course.
If I was invisible, or AKA translucent, the shit I would get up to. I can't even blame the guy for being what he was or is.
Right.
Or
So, again, for everybody listening that hasn't seen the show, there is nudity. And it ain't the female variety.
It ain't.
And it is full frontal.
You'll see everything. And it's disturbing. And
it's supposed to be.
It's supposed to be. The other thing is, I love the fact that they head-on hit these issues like harassment of women, belittling of women.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they pull no punches.
They're not afraid of anything. And though part of me is kind of like, because I lean a little more conservative in my political views, part of me is really like scared people are going to think that conservatives are really like that. But at the same time...
There's an extreme faction.
It's satire. Yeah, exactly. And I think most people are very middle of the road. And if you maintain your sense of humor, the parts that poke fun at Christians, that poke fun at conservatives...
Oh, God, yeah.
They aren't that bad. And they are kind of, like, really funny. And for me, I think there are underbellies to everything. And the show's, like, makes everything fair game. So it's not, like, just those things. It's also talking about, hey, this thing isn't right. Oh, look at the sexism. Oh, look at this. This woman is bisexual. But let's change that because that doesn't fit what we want. Let's make it different than it really is. Or
right. I mean, they really did change one of the characters. Again, the main...
Yeah.
I can't really even say that she's a protagonist or antagonist. She's just a great character.
She's just really interesting, and you don't expect her to be.
Right. In the original comic was a Adolf Hitler worshipping neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
That it absolutely loved killing. Not the same. Not even close.
No. There's ambiguity in some of these things, and you're almost like, but what if this was this and that was that? Like, it's like the tiniest personality change would change the game.
Right.
You know,
and not in a bad way either.
No, no. It could go either way depending on who it was and what it was. But in this particular character's case, it was like, all we need is a little more humanity in this person, and they would be somebody completely different. I mean,
right.
That's how on the edge it is. That's how brilliant the writing is.
but it's like this character, based on their history, and once you learn all that, there's a reason that humanity's missing.
Correct. And
they
then when you
had it.
Yeah. They don't anymore, but they did. But I think, I mean, gigantic, enormous dick jokes aside, I honestly think that is one of the few times I've watched a TV show and literally had to pause it and gag and then start watching. Like, I literally was like, ugh.
I never actually got to the but there was a few times like, ooh.
Yeah. And I literally, like, it didn't make me sick, but I had to stop because I was going to bust out laughing. So I was like, it was like hilarious. I was just like, okay, why didn't I think of that? Like, if you can't control the ability you get as a hero, imagine the strange shit that could happen. Like,
right.
Like,
I just watched
boob girl. Like, okay.
I could lactate a fly out of the air at 100 paces.
Yeah, exactly. Or, oh, guess what? I can flutter my eyelashes so hard I can fly this plane. Yeah, like, who knows? Just.
And, I mean, the most tragic,
in
my opinion, was Pop Claw.
Oh, God. That storyline for me.
That hurt so much.
It did. It made me, I don't know why, but it actually humanizes our antagonist a little bit. Like, I don't know why it did it for me, because that just wasn't right. That just, that was not right. How that was handled was, it led to
worst possible way of dealing with things.
Yeah. And then to act like that wasn't what happened, it's like, dude, no one else could it. It's obvious. I mean, it just, there was hope for this person, and now there's not.
Right.
You know?
It's like you cross that line, you're dead to me.
Yeah, you're categorically fucked. Sorry about your luck.
Although I loved A-Train with the cancer patient. Holy shit.
Yes.
Holy shit. And then once you learn more about A-Train, you go back and watch it again, it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. It's hard for me because it's like, at first I'm like, I hate this asshole. And then it's like, no, maybe I don't. No, I hate this asshole. I really hate him. No, I don't. Damn it. Okay.
Yeah, then it's like that thing. And you're like, oh, fuck you.
Why did you have to do that?
And then the end of the first season is like, but the problem solved itself.
Yeah. Why?
Why?
What was the point of that? And it's just like, I think it's just like desperate men do desperate deeds. It's kind of like
But it's not the situation of a good person in a bad spot. This is a bad person doing what they do.
Bad person just acting on their instincts as a bad person. There's no middle ground with this person.
However, I feel that he may have been good at one point, and I think it's there's one character in particular that just corrupts everyone around them and makes them into bad people just by virtue of who that person is.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think part of it, and it goes back to the fact that there are different factions. And in season 3, we're going to start seeing different factions, and none of them are good.
Of course not.
That.
Of course not.
It's the thought that, is it the thing that made you what you are? Is it this one person's influence over you, or the pressure because of that person's influence that makes it so?
And even the one that you should hate more than any of them all. Yeah. You still find things you're just like, God damn it.
Yeah. And you care. Like I found, like, there were points where I took breaks, obviously, like anyone would. I'd watch like 2 episodes, wait a couple days, watch another one, whatever, right?
I watched them as they were slow rolling them because I had to. Not because I had to watch them immediately, but because I
Right.
needed that week break in between.
Correct.
Because,
So
man, that show will fuck
It's
with
a
your
lot.
head.
It will fuck with you. But I found that when I was taking my breaks, I was like, damn it, I miss Homelander. You know? Or damn it, I miss this person. Or damn it, I miss that. Like, I'd be like, oh, Starlight, where are you? You know?
But I mean, Starlight is a truly good person, so.
And well, and that's the thing is like,
And so is Huey.
he's so against type. You know? It's like you don't expect, you do, part of you expects her to turn anytime. Part of you is like, okay, when are you going to become one of them? It's going to happen.
I don't think it is.
And now I know it's not. I adore
By
her.
season 2, I was like, this is not happening. She's
Yeah.
too good.
Oh, and not to downplay any other females on the show, because we have some kick-ass females on this show. The end of last season, the big showdown with that one, the finally talking and saying words.
Yeah.
I lost my shit. I cried. I had to pause it. I was like, no, that's beautiful. That's the kind of shit the show does, though, is that it takes this insane premise that, again, it is not for the faint of heart at all. It humanizes things that shouldn't be humanized. It displays human nature on all its ends and axes. It pokes fun at society, which is great in all its ways.
Oh, yeah, this show's
And yet,
fearless.
at the heart of it, there's such a deep humanity. It's intriguing. It is intriguing.
It is. Like,
You're
this
strong enough to
show,
withstand it.
I can't put into words how good it is.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you have to be able to handle brutality. And, like, because life is brutal. And this show, life is brutal.
Oh, absolutely.
You know how they try to say sometimes, like, art imitates life and life imitates art? This is art imitating life.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it feels like a departure, okay? It feels like it's not real. We're a verb away from this world being real. On so many levels. I mean, just a centimeter here, a centimeter there, one compromise this way, one compromise that way. A scientific breakthrough, a bad decision. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the thing that makes science fiction and fantasy so compelling is because it is rooted in reality.
At least the good stuff is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the crap isn't, but.
I mean, like, Dean Koontz. Almost everything he writes is under the right conditions. That's what makes it great.
Yeah.
Also, what makes it terrifying.
Yes. Because it could happen. And I think that's what makes entertainment good, is when it's like, oh my God, this is so fantastical and amazing, and oh God, it could be real.
Yep.
And it's just like, I think that's why we enjoy the things we enjoy as people, because we find something relatable in it. We latch on for dear life, and we hope it's going to give us a payoff. You know, sometimes life doesn't give us the payoffs, but the TV shows or movies or books give us the payoff.
They also give us ways to look at issues and the world differently than what we normally do.
Yep. And maybe even come out of it with a broader scope of understanding for others. You know, I mean, it helped me, watching The Boys helped me kind of relax and feel less. At first I was like, oh God, people are going to think I'm a horrible human being, blah, 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 blah. And instead I felt like, no, I'm just going to relax and let it fly.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic show. Like, seriously, there's just nothing else you can say about it. It's a fantastic show.
That's great. And right now, I don't think there's anything that can compare to it.
God, no, nothing. Nothing comes close.
It's its own thing. It's really neat. And in a society where superheroes have been such a big thing for us lately, especially, you know, with your DC films, your Marvel films, all of that, and so many of them being so good. And you have this clear cut, like, you're the bad guy, you're the good guy, you're the bad guy, you're the good guy. And then you have this ambiguity and you're like, Okay.
And that's exactly why I got into the Wheel of Time series, the books,
Yeah.
years and years ago. Because no one is so, dark that they can't be brought back into the light. And no one is so pure that they can't be corrupted by the dark.
Correct. And I think the point is the balance between the two.
Right.
Striking the balance, making the decision who you're going to be and who you're not going to be, and not letting fate decide for you. Got it. But yeah, I mean, like, obviously I did not intend for the podcast to be an hour of praising the boys, but hey, if anyone's listening that has anything to do with the boys is awesome. I love it.
Yeah, you guys have done a wonderful job.
It's kicking ass, and it's just gonna get hopefully better.
Yeah,
that's the hope and the dream.
Yeah,
so,
don't change anything. Just keep it going. Just
no,
keep it
please.
going.
It's so good. It's like one of my favorite shows to rewatch is Penny Dreadful.
I haven't seen that.
It's set in Victorian England. It's all the classic monsters brought to life. And the main characters are so deep and beautiful. There's a romanticism to it. You're almost drunk on how beautiful it all is, but at the same time, it's deeply emotional, troubling, disturbing at times, super dark, really fucked up. But it was one of those series where it got in there. The writing was perfect. The acting was perfect. Everything was perfect. You're on the edge of your seat constantly going, is this? No, but it's this. But then it's, oh my God, I didn't. And then, oh, it's that. And the whole time that's what you're doing. It gets
That's
in.
awesome.
And then season 3 is the last season. So it's 1, 2, 3. Season 3 is a wild ride. The last episode was so beautiful. The ending was so well done. Heartbreaking, disturbing, wonderful. I mean, it's what Victorian England and Victorian monsters should be, okay? So it was like a celebration of the inhumanity of the age and the humanity of the age. Because, you were having the Industrial Revolution and new things, and then there was the extreme poverty, and then there's just like here's what the rich people are doing, here's what the poor people are doing. And it takes your classic Dracula story and goes, and then it throws everything in it. Okay, so you've got like your Frankenstein, you've got like your Wolfman, you got, in a sense, you've got all those things blended. And then you have this family somehow that you didn't think you were going to fall in love with these characters. You didn't know you were going to absolutely madly love them. And then you do. And you're just like, what's my life going to be without them? Because now they're here forever.
I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds so amazing.
And I love a series that can go, we're in and we're out. We're in, we're going to hit you hard, and then we're going to just...
Hey, The Good Place.
Exactly.
It came in, it hit hard, then it ran.
Yeah. And they nailed it. And that's what you should do. I feel like things like The Walking Dead should have done that. If The Walking Dead had done that, oh my God, could you imagine?
Breaking Bad did it. They tried quitting early, too, and it was like, no, you're not done.
Not quite. We're not there yet.
Yeah, you're close.
Very well. And that one almost went too far.
I think that was the best part of it, is that it was a series of almost.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, that was kind of like the Walter White mantra of life, like almost. It's like the reason why you're doing this. In almost.
Exactly.
It's like, okay. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to new adventures, revisiting old adventures, all of that. And I have no earthly idea what this year is going to bring, but I surely hope it will bring a lot of mental health care awareness,
right?
A lot more care. And I hope even though we spent a large swath of this having a good time, which I think is important. We need to do that. That the messages got across. You know, that's my sincere hope for this. And hopefully you guys will have me back at some point soon.
Oh, definitely.
And I'm going to prepare something to actually, you know, to actually have us focus on and talk about. And of course, we can do all the tangents like we always do.
I mean, we always do.
I hope I didn't seem like I was floundering at all.
No, not at all.
To be a useful and fun guest, but I
mean, you are.
This is like the greatest forum for whatever, you know. I mean, it's almost like this is a therapy session for me because I get to sit here.
Like I said, this is my therapy.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you guys were my therapist tonight, and the counselor got to get things off her chest and feel balanced and more together, which is awesome.
Isn't it, though?
It really is. And I mean, I wish Bexy could have stayed the whole time, and I know she couldn't, and that's okay. And I know our other friends kind of had to leave us off and on, but I'm glad that we had this time. I now sound like, what do I say? I'm glad we had this time together. What is, am I doing the Carol Burnett show? What am I doing?
Oh, God. No, that's, I think that's Muppet Theater.
Ah, yeah. I mean, it's true, though. Very true.
It is.
And my cat is laying here, and she's like, Mommy, is it bedtime? And I'm going, no, kitty, it's not quite bedtime. But it's all very cute and fuzzy, and I love you, even though you're mad at me, because I'm still sitting here on my computer. She literally, she's great. I think she's my familiar, but she'll just kind of show up and be like, and I'm like, hi. She does these little cat calls that are like little birdie chirps, you know?
Yeah, that's my cat, Ryuk.
Yep.
He is my familiar by far. There's no ifs. He's a part of my soul.
Yes, she is too. Yeah. And I don't understand how on earth I'm expected at some point in my life to live without her. But I'm guessing whatever I will need at that point will be brought to me. But
hopefully,
I'm hoping I have many, many, many more long years with her. She's only 5, so here's to 15 more.
Right. Yeah, my cat, he's only 3.
Awesome.
Yeah, and like he will sleep on my chest at night.
Oh yeah, she insists on either being right next to me, under the covers right next to me, on my back, on my head, wherever. But she asks me touching me.
For everybody else, he tolerates being like held. He likes being pet, but for me, he will full blown hug my arm and make me rub his belly, and he loves belly rubs from me.
Aw. Yeah, she's a wonky one. This one, when she wants to be affectionate, you better be affectionate. And if she doesn't like a cat, she's just like, all right, I'm going to be over here doing my thing. You do your thing. We'll be cool. Don't worry. It's
that's
very
awesome.
Much so. Yep, that's great. But it's funny because if I'm doing a meditation, or I'm going through charging my stones, or anything on my altar, any of that kind of stuff, if I'm shuffling my cards just to cleanse them like I do,
right?
She has to be there. And she wants me to touch her with the stones. She's like, I like that stone. Can I touch this stone?
Awesome.
It's fun. Like I have this piece of opalite, right, that I've been playing with all night.
Right.
This opalite is like, it's one of my favorite stones I have. And she's just like, can you put that on my ear? And I'm like, sure, I'll put it on your ear. So I'll touch her ear, and she's like, can you touch my other ear? Because, they'll do the little move the head thing.
Right.
And then I'll just sit it on top of her head, and she'll just sit there and purr. And I'm
That's
like, okay,
awesome.
Cool. That's my girl. Getting her charge on.
But we are almost out of time. We are down to the last 20 minutes.
Wow.
And we don't have to do the full 3 hours, but we sometimes do.
Yes.
And actually, somebody thought that we deliberately tried to do the full 3 hours. Like, I would love to come on the show, but you guys do 3 hours. Like,
You don't have
when
to.
it's a 3-hour show, it's a 3-hour show. If it's an hour and a half show, it's an hour and a half show. It just...
Yeah, we finish when we finish.
Exactly.
I mean, I hope that... I know my first time on, we did the full 3 hours nonstop. I'm hoping the next time I come on, I'll do the same. But, I mean, we've almost made the 3 hours tonight. That's pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah. And again, thank you for coming in, like...
Absolutely.
In an emergency. Because we're just like... Yeah.
We're in a scramble. Who we got?
But, I mean, I told you.
Absolutely. I'm here for y'all.
All right, so next week... next week is going to be our biggest episode by far. Like, I mean, I can't even put into words just how big this episode is going to be. Because we have someone coming on with almost 1 million followers on TikTok. They've been very vulnerable lately. They've been trying to get... And they're nervous. I'm like, we don't even have 1,000. You have 1 million. Yeah. But I get it. This is a totally different forum. You're more vulnerable. Because the longest you get, otherwise, is 3 minutes. Here, you get up to 3 hours.
Yep. And it's a totally different forum.
Yeah, it's completely different. And it would be stupid of me not to be able to understand and respect that.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you know what? She's nervous? Oh, I'm nervous too.
Now I'm nervous. 3.
Because, yeah, the potential traffic that could come to our chat room.
Yeah.
Whew.
Well, I guess Missy's going to have to be there to be available just in case, huh?
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I got your back.
I got you, bro. All right. So thank you again for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me again. Yep. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Can't wait to do it again.
Definitely. On behalf of C and Bexy, I'm E, and we'll catch you guys next week.